like anybody, as a kid, I drew all the time, made stuff all the time, just whatever, finding an outlet, and this is way back. Yeah, I guess I'm dating myself. I mean, what the hell? I got some gray. This was before video games and shit was big. I remember, like in the 80s playing with Intellivision, Mattel Intellivision. So that, that's how far we've come with this. But just, messing around. I did, I took my art studies seriously in college. I studied, fine arts and, practical arts in college at Xavier University. So in New Orleans, but throughout all that, I made these miniatures out of chewing gum wrappers, and I was just making toys, make just personal things for myself, do the art and whatever work I was doing, and then in my spare time, I made these things. And I started doing this around 10 years old, 10 or 11, when I was just making drivers to put in Hot Wheels cars, because as cool as the cars are, it just never made any sense to me that they didn't have drivers, so it was just stupid. So I started making little people to put in the cars, and it never stopped. I never stopped. So the people turned into athletes, and the athletes turned into teams, and teams, whatever. It turned into all kinds of stuff. And then when I was in college, I showed it to my art professor, who just was like, "Dude, you have no idea that what you're doing is a viable form of art." Because I'm concentrating on graphics, communication design. Because at that point I had 2 posters published, like for the Boston Marathon and for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. Oh, and then when the Pope came to town, when the Pope visited New Orleans, I had done a poster for that too. So I had 3 posters. So I was thinking of art, graphic arts. And he was like, no, man, this is something way beyond. So I designed a show for the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl came to town that year. And so I did a show with making 23 dioramas of the prior 23 games. And so that got a lot of attention, PBS and HBO Sports and NBC, like Today Show and all this stuff. And so I think the next step for me was, and after I had gotten rejected from some graduate schools, I was working at a place in New Orleans called Young Aspirations, Young Artists, training young artists, high school artists for careers in art, for steps beyond high school, college and stuff. And the woman who started that organization, Jana Napoli, dropped CalArts in my lap, and she said, "You need to apply here. This is the place you ought to be." And so I always thought about animating them, but had no clue how, because I would just play with them, mash them up together myself. Right. Just playing around, having fun, making my own game. And so, when she showed that to me, I thought it was a film and animation school, because I'd never heard of it until she introduced it to me. And then I applied, and CalArts was like, "Oh, your crazy ass needs to be here." So I went to CalArts, with a mission because I always thought about, working in film and stuff, but I just never knew how, how does one do that? And then when I, got introduced to that school, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is it. This is the ticket. So I went to CalArts, took out all the loans and grants that I could, every scrap of money I could build, and the few nickels I had in my pocket, and drove to LA or Santa Clarita, and never left. I was on a mission to come out here and actually work in the film industry. So I originally wanted to do It's a Rapper films. I mean, that was the thing. But I also wanted to see my name on the screen. So I got, seduced more or less by features, which is, not a bad thing because it's been a hell of a run. I mean, so I got into, digital effects, learning the software with Rhythm and Hues, and been on this trajectory ever since. Started as a character animator. Everything I learned at CalArts through my stop motion, because I did all stop motion there. Yeah. I just parlayed that into learning the software and actually learning how to animate on a computer. And here I am now. So that was 1995. I graduated in 95. I started working in 96. And since then, between feature films, like 20 features, a stint in 5 years in virtual reality, VR work, and now full circle back to doing work with It's a Rapper. And now also lately, working a lot more with the Unreal Engine, the Epic, virtual production software. So
that's fantastic.
The virtual production engine. And so here I am. Here we are. I do believe that there are opportunities that I could have gotten to advance that I didn't, probably because I'm Black. I don't know. The thing is about wearing this burden is that it's always in the back of your head, especially when you see other people get opportunities that aren't as experienced as you, or when you apply to some studios after you've, been an animation director on the Matrix sequels, and they say, well, would you be willing to come as a senior animator? You go, what the hell is that shit? Like, really? Like, would you really play someone else like that who didn't look like me? So, it's always in the back of your head. So I never wanted to land on that as the first thing, but again, you're always thinking about it. But I've always been like, in spite of that, I'm gonna kick ass wherever I go, whatever opportunity I get. And when I walk on the set, I'm there because I belong there, not because somebody did me a freaking favor. Yeah. I earned the opportunity. So that's how I've always approached it. And whether I get shade or not, I can't even let that be an obstacle. It was always in my head that people do that work. We grew up watching all this stuff, whether it's, TV shows we love, cartoons, blockbuster movies, whatever, or just plain dramas. It's like, someone does that stuff, why can't I be one of them? And it's that simple. Because I never felt like I couldn't, and there was never anyone around me saying, you can't do that. So it was like, why not? And so I think that's what drives me. And I just approach everything like that, I want to be one of the people creating that shit. I want to be one of the people that people talk about, wow, you did that. I want to be one of the people, entertaining, leaving some kind of mark and legacy on the world as an artist. So whether it is on the screen or it is in a gallery or a museum, I just want to be one of those people because I'm an artist and I need that creative outlet just for my own sanity. But there is a certain part of ego that drives it, where you go, yeah, I want to do that shit. Because it's very proud to say, yes, I'm part of the Matrix Trilogy. People go, what? What? Like, yes, I am. Yes, I'm part of Happy Feet, all of that shit. It's a proud feeling because you made a mark on the industry. You actually helped people win Oscars, even though you don't have one. But it's not for a lack of trying, but it's very hard. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to have that. And even now, to be able to do this and to share this and to, tell this story and hope that someone else can be inspired by this, because I'm always on the lookout for that too, to say, you can do this.